Hi, good morning. Steph here from Hofkissed. Or let's see, perhaps it's it's afternoon. I'm a little bit later than usual. We got a big dumping of snow here in Guelph, Ontario. So I've been shoveling and cleaning off my car. And so the video today is a little bit later. So this is Fast and Fabulous Friday video. I hope you are enjoying your Friday today. And this is the project that I'm going to demonstrate. So it's a pretty quick and easy card with a fun little twist. It's like an easel card. So you pop up a sentiment on the inside and it pops up. And let me flip it around. So that gives a little bit of a dimension. So I'm going to show you how to do this card today. I'm going to be using the Candy Cane Season stamp set, and it has, of course, a coordinating punch. I'm a sucker for punches. And first we're going to start by doing the candy cane here, and I'm going to show you a little trick here. I'm going to bring in all my pieces and the Stamparatus. It is the stamp positioning tool, and to be honest, I didn't think that I would ever need a stamp positioning tool because I'm just a eyeballer type of stamper, but this is so much more than a stamp positioning tool. Especially also great if you have trouble holding the blocks and stuff. Aside from getting everything straight, it's a great tool to have, and I'm going to show you a little trick here. I learned this from Patty Bennett. I originally saw her posting about this. She created little templates, so you can do it with punches or dies. So I created this template here with the candy cane die, and I'm going to butt it up in the corner, and I've mounted my stamps here on the side to line up perfectly within these punch guidelines. So the reason why I did that is because then I have a whole bunch of punched candy canes here that I just went ahead and punched out on scrap pieces of Whisper White cardstock, and I can go ahead and put them right there in the template. I'm going to take my Poppy Parade ink here, and I'm going to ink up my images that I've lined up with this template here, and I'm going to flip it around and give it a push and make sure everything's all nice and inky. And when I lift it up, oh, it's stuck there. But when I lift it up, I will have perfectly placed images. Oh, see, that one didn't stamp properly. So this is the other benefit. You think that I did that on purpose, but I didn't. But this is the other benefit that I can show you now with the Stamparatus. When you don't get a clean image there, you can ink up your images again, and because you have it in the exact spot that you want it, I'm going to move it, make sure it's in there, and because I inked up the other one again, I'm going to bring in another bow, put that in. Oh, I have a little hair there, sorry, excuse me. I'm getting super inky today. Okay, so then we're going to do the same thing, flip it around and give it a push, and then flip it up, and there we go. All right, so we got our candy canes. I like that, the way that turned out much better. Oh, and it's stuck in there. All right, I'm going to show you one other trick here. So this is the template that we did. So if you don't want to pre-punch all of your images, you can still use a template here to get your stamps perfectly aligned. Okay, you can remove your template. And then I have just a scrap piece of Whisper White cardstock here. I'm going to go ahead and ink up my images again, and do it on the full piece of cardstock. So this is especially good for builder punches or punches that have several images in one punch. So now I have it on my Whisper White. I can come in with my punch and I know that it's going to be perfectly lined up, so I can punch both of the images at the same time. There, pretty cool, eh? Quick and easy. Okay, so I'm going to move this out of the way. So I wanted to do the stamping and the punching first because I just want to have that dry a little bit, and I'm going to bring in my other pieces here. So this is a A2 size card base, so it measures 5.5 by 4 1/4. The only difference here is that I scored another line here at 2 1/8. So these are equal parts here, 2 1/8 and 2 1/8, so that you can get this tenting effect, okay? And then I have this nice velvety flocked cardstock here. When you're doing this, you want to make sure that your pieces line up so you get the continuous strike. So, or stripe, not strike. So if you had like a funky pattern, okay, it just happens to work that way. But you know, like you want it to be continuous. So I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to add some fast fuse on the back. And I don't know if you can see the score line here. I'm going to not cover the score line, but I'm going to get much closer to that score line so that I have a nicer border around my image and it still folds. Okay, and I'm going to take my second piece. And again, I'm not covering the score line. I know it's hard to see here in the video, but I'm getting it closer to the score line than anywhere else. Okay, so it's still able to fold nicely. So we got that. Then I have some different strips of ribbon here. I have the Poppy Parade textured weave ribbon and the striped Poppy Parade ribbon, and then this cool polka dot tool here, and I'm just going to layer them onto my card using tear and tape. It's just the quickest and easiest thing to do. So I'm just laying just a little piece of tear and tape on the card, peel off the back, and I'm going to just layer these on the card, and I'm going to keep adding tear and tape as I go along. And let's see, I did this one next. And I didn't keep them all straight, I just zigzagged them around. And one more piece. Come on. All right. And my last piece of ribbon here. Okay. Next I have a die cut circle with the stitch shape framelits. This is the third largest circle. And I'm going to take that and this little dotted image from the Candy Cane Season stamp set. I believe these are the berries from the holly, but I'm just using it to add some accent. So I'm stamping it twice so you get a variation of color. And I'm also turning the stamp as I go so that you get a nice variety, and stamping off the edge a little bit so you get, so it just looks like the images are continuing. Okay, and maybe I want to put one more there. All right, oh, and while we have that out, I just have a 1/2 inch strip of Whisper White cardstock, and I'm stamping Be Jolly So I gotta move it down so I can see what I'm doing. Be jolly. And that is all the stamping we're going to do. So I'm closing that up because my fingers are red enough. And let's see, I'm going to flag the ends here. I have this, this is a retired punch, but I love it for 1/2 inch here. Of course, you can do this manually with your snips, your paper snips, your scissors. But this is quick and easy. So I resort to this one. All right, move those out of the way. And now we're going to do 2 things with dimensionals. So we're going to put dimensionals on the back of the Be Jolly. And you need to put dimensionals on this in order to do this easel card. Okay, so you're going to, whoops, flip it up about where you want it, and you're going to stick this down. So if you didn't have this on dimensionals, this isn't going to stay up. It's just going to slide over. So it's very important to pop this up on dimensionals. Okay, we can close that. Next, we're going to add a few dimensionals right to the card base instead of the circle. So about where you want it, and you can take your circle here and you can line it up. But you don't want to put anything up here on the top of the fold, because if you glue it on there, then it's not going to pop up the way you want it. So you want to just put it on the bottom, and when you put it onto the card base instead of the circle, because you know usually I put it on the back of these, but this ensures that you're not going over the edge. Okay, popping that up. So I'm going to move that aside for a moment. And I'm going to bring in my shimmer paint. I'm going to use Frost White. I'm going to give it a shake and a sponge dauber. Now the reason why we did the stamping right at the beginning is because it's quite inky. Let's use this one. And it still probably will bleed a little bit, but I'm taking my dauber and using the cap of the shimmer paint, and I'm going to dab, and you don't want to do too much, but you can see that it's turning a little bit pinkish because the ink is running a little bit, but that's okay. You just don't want to saturate it too much, but there we go. Now, I'm not, it dries pretty quickly, but it still needs a little bit of time to dry. So I'm not going to glue it onto my card, but I'll bring back the finished one here, and once it was fully dry, then I glued it with Tombow right onto the circle there, and I had it hanging over the top a little bit, and there we go. Quick and easy, fast and fabulous project for you today. I hope you enjoyed today's project, and thank you for tuning in to another Fast and Fabulous Friday video. As it is in every Fast and Fabulous Friday video, if you leave me a comment, let me know how your Friday is going, what you thought about the video. I will draw a winner for some Happy Mail. All right, so have a good one. Take care. Bye.